Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It's Curly here, and it's January 2017, so that means we gotta do our PC build of the month. I just got back from college, and I'm happy so I can do some more videos for you guys. So let's begin. But a quick word. Yo, guys, if you're looking to save on some of the latest and greatest games for this year, D2A has got your back. Click the link down below and get started. Remember guys, pay, save, game, G2A.com. Alright guys, so just a quick heads up, this is a Kaby Lake Core i5 GTX 1060 build, 6GB if you didn't know that. This is pretty much for people who have a really outdated PC, something that's like, I guess, Skylake Core i3 or lower, I want to say, and just trying to upgrade to get some new functions and to be able to play games, obviously. So if you didn't know, this is pretty much a high pretty much 60 frames on high settings, pretty much all around those AAA titles, I want to say, for the most part. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's begin. So starting off with our CPU, we went with the Intel Core i5 6700K Kaby Lake processor at Newegg for $250. I went with this processor because obviously it's going to be a good all-around processor. You're going to be able to game at 1080p and get 60 frames out of pretty much any setting that you put. Maybe AAA titles, not on ultra settings, I'm not 100% sure. But pretty much you'll probably get 5 more frames than using a Skylake processor, in my opinion. But for gaming alone, this is a great processor for definitely for a GTX 1060. It's going to be worth it. You can pretty much do whatever you really want to do unless you do some intense video editing. But this is just a great all-around processor, and that's why I picked it. Now, to cool the CPU, I went with the CRYORIG H7 air cooler. I honestly think with a Core i5, you don't need a water cool, and this is a perfectly great air cooler. It has such great ratings all around. But I went with this air cooler because I personally think for 35 bucks right now at Newegg, this is what you really just need. It will go perfectly fine with just about any PC build, just because it's white and black, and it will look good in this PC build. And also that to overclock your CPU, max turbo I believe is for the Kaby Lake processors 4.2. You should be able to hit that no problem. Your temps won't like skyrocket too high. It should keep them pretty fairly low. But I just think with this air cooler, you'll be perfectly fine for a Core i5 PC build, and that's why I went with it. Now for the motherboard to connect all of our parts, I went with the Gigabyte GA Z270 HD3 motherboard. This motherboard has a lot to offer, and it's only at Newegg right now for $115. In my opinion, it has more function than I expected it was going to have, but I'm not going to hit everything. I'm just going to say a few things. It supports 7th and 6th gen Intel processors. It has fast USB 3.1 Gen 2 with a USB Type-C and Type-A connectors. It supports 2-way SLI and 3-way crossfire, so multiple GPU support. It pretty much handles memory speeds, I believe, all the way up to 386 DDR4, and honestly I don't think we're gonna get memory for that speed. You'll probably get a better motherboard for that. But it also has I believe ambient lighting on the back. If you guys can't tell, right where the rear of the motherboard, you can get some red accents and some red LEDs. Just a nice little touch for a budget motherboard. Honestly think it's good. In my opinion, it's all you really need. It has, I believe, 3 fan headers, 3 to 5 fan headers. It says it has smart 5 fan headers, but I only see 3 fan headers on the motherboard. But 3's pretty much good. I wouldn't go anything lower than 3 fan headers personally, because that means you could have 2 front fans and 1 rear fan. So in all, I think this is just a great budget motherboard for Newegg, and I honestly recommend it if you're trying to build a budget gaming PC. Alright, so next on our list, we went with the memory. I decided to go with Team Dark 6GB of DDR4 memory running at 240 megahertz. I went with this pretty much because it was like the second cheapest RAM sticks to buy, honestly, for 16GB of RAM. RAMs have been gone up for some reason. I guess it's because of the new Intel processors and stuff. But I just went with these because they're kind of flashy, but they're nothing like too crazy in my opinion. I just think RAMs should look really discreet or to really pop out and be flashy. So that's why I went with these. You can get the red model if you choose so, but I believe it's like a few dollars more. But I went with the gray because honestly, this is pretty much a white and black PC build with a little bit of red in it. But if you want more red, if you want to pay the extra few dollars, you can pick the red RAM sticks. But honestly, I went with these because I just think they look pretty fly for the most part, and I just think they pretty much, this is all you really need for a gaming PC, and you can pick these up at Newegg right now for $84.99. So for storage to start off with, I went with the Sandisk SSD plus 2GB 240 gigabyte SSD. I went with this because you can pick up at Newegg for $70. I honestly think for the PC build color scheme, this went perfectly. It's nice, it's budget, it's on the cheaper side. It's only 240 gigabytes, so it's pretty much just your boot up drive. And you can put all your little main folders and 1 or 2 games if you have the space for it. But honestly, I went with the 240 because like nowadays 120 gigabytes is just not enough. So I went with this because we could fit with it, and I just think it looks really nice. It would look good in the PC build, and it's always nice to have an SSD as well. Now for our main storage, I went with the Seagate Barracuda ST2 000DM006 2TB. Sorry I butchered the name. I went with the 2TB because this is just a gaming PC, and honestly more storage means more games in the long run. I went with this one because honestly it was on the cheaper side, but it does have a pretty good rating, and I believe it has a 2-year warranty. So unfortunately, if it does break in 2 years, you'll get a refund or whatever. You'll buy another one, or you most likely will switch. But honestly, it has a pretty good rating. I think it's just a solid SSD for the most part, and 2 terabytes is always nice to have, and you can pick this up at Newegg right now for $70. Now for graphics card, I decided to go with the MSI GeForce GTX 1060 6GB model. This is the OCV1 model, so I went with this one because right now at Newegg you can pick it up for $250, and plus it comes with a free $40 game supposedly. The games that you can pick from if you buy it off of Newegg is Maze, which is an indie game, Redout, which is a very good indie game. I played Redout before, it's pretty fun, it's a racing game, and Raw Data, which is a VR game. So honestly, I don't see you guys getting the VR one because you would have to buy VR equipment. But it does come with a free game, so it is a pretty good deal in my opinion. I went with this one because I think it looks great. In all, I kind of just like the way it's designed with some, it's pretty much all black with some white accents on it, and it's MSI, so it's a pretty good branded company. Your core clock is 1544 megahertz, and your boost clock is 1759 megahertz. So you'll get pretty good performance out of this. You should be able to game at 1080p 60 frames. Depending on your settings, you might be able to get ultra for some AAA titles, but I don't think not all. It really just depends on what games you guys are playing. But for all, you should be very impressed and very glad with this graphics card, so that's why I picked it. So for the power supply, I decided to go with the Rosewill Glacier 60M 600 watt power supply. It's 80 plus bronze certified, so it's a pretty decent power supply. It has subpar ratings. I've used this power supply before. I've used it for a friend's build. He has a Core i5 6600K and a 970 in there. I believe it's the Gigabyte Gaming 1 edition, and it's very good, and we haven't had any problems with it. He uses his PC probably a fair amount. He's pretty much on it every day, but it does support SLI and Crossfire. But in all, I went with this power supply because it's affordable. It's $50, it's 60 watts, so you have some upgradability, and it's semi-modular, so it has 2 main connectors, and then the other connectors you can pick and choose, so you have some decent cable management. So that's why I went with this power supply overall, and I think it's just a good price right now. So for a case to put all of the components in, I went with the Phanteks ECLIPSE Series P40. This is the white glacier edition, so it's pretty much white. I went with this case because I own this case as well. I have the black one, and it's a very solid case for the most part. It's a mid-tower ATX case. It does have some RGB in the front, and plus it has an RGB switch, so if you want to put more RGB in the case as well, you can buy the Phanteks LED strip. I have one too. It works great. And I went with this case because honestly, I didn't want to go with the NZTX one again. And I have this case so I can recommend it to you guys. I personally like this case a lot. I like the way it looks. The white won't cause any fingerprints. And honestly, for the whole PC build, I think it would just look solid in the case. The only downside I would say to this case is that the cable management is not as great as what other reviewers I've watched say. I personally ran into a few problems. I might not be the best cable manager, but take it with a grain of salt. It's pretty decent. It's not the best, and if you ever work with this case, you'll see kind of why. It does have some strips to hold down cases, but it only has that one. It maybe just be me, but overall the rating on Amazon is 4 stars, and I'll give it 4 stars as well in my opinion, and it's only $70, so that's why I went with this case. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the PC build for this month. I'm sorry it took so long to put it up. I just got back, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Please make sure if you like it to hit the like button, and if you buy any of these parts or use any of these parts, leave a comment down below. Also guys, I try to stream every weekend. I stream Friday through Sunday, 8 to about 11, sometimes to midnight, and I want you guys to follow me there if you just want to talk to me personally, and we can just talk about whatever. And follow me on social media guys. I hope you guys enjoy the build, and peace out.